Like peanut butter and jelly, salt and pepper, chicken and rice have a very special relationship. The perfect accompaniments on a plate, chicken and rice looks very different depending on where you are in the world. But one thing is for sure, it is everywhere. Today, we are looking at 5 chicken and rice combinations from 5 different countries to show us how prolific the chicken and rice combo really is.
Hello, my name is Gabriella and I am from Ocho Rios, Jamaica. The dish I'd love to share with you guys today is called brown stew chicken. Brown stew chicken gets its name from the use of browning, which is essentially a caramelized sugar. So we usually buy it in a bottle here, but in a lot of Caribbean islands, I know they make it fresh every dish. If you don't have that or you don't want to make the browning, you can also substitute it for soy sauce. It adds the same kind of coloring, the dark coloring. It adds a nice rounded flavor. To make it, you just add a bunch of aromatics such as garlic, thyme, scallion, scotch bonnet to the chicken and the browning, and you let that marinate. Then you braise the chicken in a pan, so you brown it and add some water.
I cannot believe that I'm still adding ingredients to this marinade. Woo, there's a lot going on here. Browning is a flavor and color enhancer. I bought this for my liver episode, which was like 4 years ago, and I haven't used it since, but I held on to it like a pack rat, and for good reason, because now I need it again.
And once that's come up to boil and softened, then you finish it off with some ketchup, which is very crucial. It rounds off the flavor, adds a little sweetness.
Marinate overnight, here we go.
The gravy itself even is served over other foods. That's how good the gravy is. It tastes really delicious. It's a nice deep flavor. It's delicious with rice and peas, which is what most people have it with. I also have mine with some fried plantain and avocado if it's in season. But the gravy itself, it's so good. Oftentimes it's served in these cook shops.
I'm gonna wash the rice in the same bowl for every single dish, and we'll see if you guys can tell whether or not I actually refilmed it or it's just the same clip over and over again. You'll never know. Too sneaky.
Which are stores on the side of the road that you can get food. It's common throughout Jamaica. You can get it, as I said, at any cook shop. You can get it in people's homes. I have a lot of good memories having it at my aunt's house.
Like the chicken, the rice also has like a million ingredients. I'm grinding allspice right now, and I still have to put in sugar and salt, and I've already added like 10 ingredients, so this rice is gonna be fire. Whew.
At my aunt's house, she has a chef Blossom who makes the best brown stew chicken. So I think everyone needs to try this. It's a really easy recipe. It's a delicious recipe, and it's quintessentially Jamaican. Enjoy.
There were so many ingredients in this dish that I was a little bit overwhelmed cooking it. However, they've clearly come together to be something marvelous because it smells so good. I need to try my rice that I kind of messed up a little bit. It's a little bit sticky. Something happened to my rice while I was cooking it. It is not granular, it is sticky rice, which is not a bad thing. The flavors are gonna be there, but visually, I messed up somehow. Cooking rice is an art that I guess I have not perfected yet. Oops. But it tastes so good. That is the most flavorful rice I think I've ever had that wasn't fried rice. The coconut milk and the kidney beans in this is a great combo. I'm gonna try some chicken. Wow. First of all, braising that chicken, it falls right off the bone. It is so tender. The Scotch bonnet peppers have a little bit of spice, and I think the color of it is so deep and beautiful. I love how this dish looks. The meat is so tender. Yum. That's finger looking good. I thought this was gonna be a little bit spicier because of the use of the Scotch bonnet peppers, but I used them whole in everything instead of chopping them up, so they were there for, I think, more flavor and less heat. I'm gonna try it together. Those are so good together. The creaminess of the rice and the savoriness of the chicken blends really, really well. I kind of like that the rice is a little sticky. I think it like sticks everything together on it, all the stew and the chicken, it all kind of sits really nicely on your spoon. I'll call it a happy mistake. But I do need to get my rice cooking skills improved because I want to do a rice episode and I can't have amateur things like this happening on camera. Starting really strong with this recipe, I'm excited to see what else we're gonna have in this episode because this one, 10 out of 10. I live in New York City, which means I walk around a ton, through all of our boroughs, in fact. I'm somebody who likes to explore my city on foot. And some of my favorite shoes that I truly wear every day, and I'm not saying this because this is an integration with Vessi, but I do love them, are my Vessi sneakers. They are waterproof, they're cute, and they're insanely comfortable. The Title sneaker, which is one of their new designs, is one of my new favorite shoes for walking around the city because it's cute, right? And it matches a lot of my jeans. New York City is a city full of weird random puddles and people spraying the sidewalks, and these shoes get me through there with dry socks. One of my favorite parts about the waterproof element is that they don't look like what you might think waterproof shoes look like. They look like sneakers that I love to wear. Beyond just exploring my city, they're the perfect sneakers for when Asha and I go for a walk in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. So kick off your fall adventure with Vessi's Title sneaker. Built for cities with their cushioning, traction, and waterproof design, so you can stay dry and comfortable wherever your day takes you. You can find a pair at vessi.com/Beryl and get 15% at checkout on your first order.
Hi Beryl, hi everyone, my name is Angela and I'm from Indonesia. The dish I want to share with you guys today is Ayam Geprek, or smashed chicken in English. As a uni student, I always want to eat a tasty yet cheap meal for lunch, and one of my options is Ayam Geprek. Basically, Ayam Geprek is like ordinary flour-coated fried chicken, but you serve it with sambal. You make the sambal at the ulekan, or the traditional smasher, and the fun part is after you made the sambal, you put your fried chicken and you just smash it with ulekan. And the rule is the chicken have to be smashed until it look like shredded, so you have to smash it a little bit hard. Ayam Geprek is so rich in flavor. The chicken itself is like the ordinary fried chicken, but the sambal will elevate the taste of this dish. It is spicy, savory, but it is also a little bit sweet.
I need to make a batter with the flour that is half thick, half watery, and I'm not sure, like, I kind of feel like that. Maybe a little thicker? No. Just a little more flour. This is an art, not a science. Yeah. It's like an eye now, like a frog's eye.
Born and raised in Java, one of the archipelagos in Indonesia. As short as I knew, Ayam Geprek is very common in here in Java. We can eat this for lunch or even a dinner. The taste of the chicken and the sambal goes so well with hot white rice. I think they belong to one another.
Now I'm gonna smash the chicken with the sambal. With a mortar and pestle. I'm not sure which piece this is. Let me know in the comments. Is this the mortar or the pestle? My gut is it's the pestle. No, the mortar. No, it's the mortar. No, it's the pestle. It's the pestle. I'm okay to be wrong though.
Indonesians love rice, so Ayam Geprek is usually served with a rice on the side.
Am I gonna spray myself in the eye? No, okay. That's pretty satisfying. Okay, that looks pretty shredded. That was cool. Okay, done.
Along with lalapan or fresh veggies like cucumber, maybe lettuce, or whatever veggies you like. I hope everyone who watch this video would like to give Ayam Geprek a try, because if you want to try a new taste while eating a fried chicken, you have to eat it with sambal.
This looks and smells amazing. What's not to like? Fried chicken with a sambal. I love that it pounded. Okay. That is perfection. The crispy chicken with the spicy sambal on top Gives you this salty, spicy combo that is so good. I love that it's smashed down and thinner for chicken thighs. It's really cool. Wow. It's elevated fried chicken in a way that for me is so surprising and so almost like better than fried chicken that I'm used to eating. I did an entire fried chicken episode, and while this obviously wasn't in the episode, this is one of the best. The batter that we made was really surprising to me because it was a thicker batter, and I'm used to doing eggs, not used to doing a flour and water batter when I'm making fried chicken. That might be too thick now. No, it's okay. Okay, got it. The flour on this really stuck. When I pounded it, none of it came off. And that was also pretty nice because when you make fried chicken, you want the crispy fried part, always. This is a bigger bite. Come on. I could definitely put this whole plate down. This is something that I want to feed to my family and friends. I want other people to experience how delicious this is. The chicken and the rice in this case go together so well. Because you have that fattier fried chicken, the rice is a really nice accompaniment to kind of even everything out. Sign me up. Did you all know that I have a new show on PBS Food? It's about two people swapping recipes from their culture to learn a little bit more about one another.
I've never cooked Korean food in my life before.
Whoa! Oh.
I'm a part of it. We had a whole lot of fun using a lot of you subscribers. I hope that you check it out. The link is in the description.
Thank you.
Hello Beryl, hello everyone. My name is Abosede and I reside here in England in the United Kingdom, but I'm originally from Nigeria. The dish I want to share with you all today is called Ọbẹ dindin and Irẹsi, which translates to stew and white rice. And because we're talking about chicken today, I'm gonna call it the Nigerian chicken stew and white rice. For you to make this dish, you need to make sure that your white rice is not sticky. Another thing is that your chicken broth is useful, so do not throw away your chicken broth. It adds more flavor, more spices to your stew. And your oil, you can actually use the oil that you used to fry your chicken to fry the stew. So basically nothing waste. I just like the spiciness in the dish. It tastes like a mix of spices, really.
I guess I should take that off. Whoops.
It's really spicy, but then it's also filling and satisfying at the same time. So it's like even if you feel the spiciness in like your throat, and you just don't want to leave the dish because you love it so much. At least in my own experience, in my country, this is a common dish. You find it almost everywhere because it's easy to make. In my family, we usually eat this almost every Sunday after church. So we're always like, yes, we have Ọbẹ dindin and Irẹsi to eat at home. So that's one thing that I really love about this dish. It brings back memories. When you make the dish, you're not gonna regret it because it brings such a good vibe. It's satisfying and it's quite colorful because the stew is like red in color and then the rice is like obviously white. So it gives it a good mix of colors. And I think you should try this to get a good taste of Nigerian spiciness, if there's a word like that. So you don't need to travel to my country to get a taste of the dish. You can actually just cook it. Thank you so much, Beryl, for the opportunity, and I hope you try this meal. Thank you. Bye.
I've done a few Nigerian dishes on this channel, and they have really led me to appreciate the Scotch bonnet pepper for its spice. So I'm excited to try this one. This one's hot. The palm of my hand is burning. Is that safe? Oh. Aces. That's so good. The spice is the perfect amount of spice. And the stew is thick with the chicken. It's really cozy. The tomatoes add a really nice sweetness and the onion is a little bit biting. The thyme that I put in at the end gives it a slightly herbaceous feel, which is something I really like. The taste of thyme I think is subtle, but it's definitely nice. Kind of like a bay leaf if you believe that bay leaves have flavor. It's the joke that keeps on joking. It pairs so well with the rice. The rice really soaks up a lot of that stew that the chicken is in. I used chicken thighs that were not bone in, so I cut a lot of the cooking time down, but it was nice that when you put it back into the liquid, they kind of reabsorbed it a little bit and got really juicy again. There weren't too many ingredients to make this dish difficult to make. I think the only thing was cooking down the pepper and tomato and onion mixture. That took a little bit of time to get all the water out, but that was pretty passive. I just played on my phone. I think that Nigerian food is not necessarily a cuisine that gets the accolades that it should. I did a whole Nigerian delivery episode and that was amazing. I learned so much about Nigerian food. I'll leave a link to that in the description if you're curious to learn more, but this is a dish that I think is really approachable and something you could try easily at home if you're curious about what Nigerian flavors are. But you gotta get a Scotch bonnet pepper. I really think you do because it adds a whole nother level to the dish.
Hi Beryl, my name is Karen. I was born and raised in Canada, but recently moved to Belize, where my dad was born and raised and where my husband grew up as well. Today I would like to talk to you about Belizean rice and beans and stewed chicken. It's a dish that can be found in homes across the country and in restaurants all across the country. And the recipe will vary from person to person. Best way to describe this dish is like a party of flavors in your mouth. It's a coconut infused rice cooked with red kidney beans, and the chicken is fried with garlic and onions and peppers, and then stewed with a variation of spices and some tomatoes, and cooked till it's juicy and tender.
The color of this chicken is so appetizing to me, like the caramelization and the beautiful red color. I'm into this. It also smells so good. It smells so good. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision right now.
The thing that takes this dish to the next level is to make sure you take that juice,
I mean, I'll just finish this one.
that gravy from the stewed chicken, and pour it all over your rice, and then serve it with your favorite hot sauce. This dish will just give you a taste of Belize's diverse culture and the beautiful country. The one reason I think everybody should try this dish is that it's made up of simple ingredients that, for the most part, anyone can find across the world. For me, it's a taste of home. I hope you enjoy.
I was intimidated to make this dish for some reason, but then once I started cooking it, it all just came together so seamlessly and it smells so delicious. And I wonder if using the brown sugar was a part of that. I've never cooked with brown sugar like that. Let's get into this chicken and rice. Ooh, the chicken is so soft. Wow. Oh my God, it's so soft. That is so delicious. Oh. The coconut rice is so good with the kidney beans, but this chicken, anytime you braise chicken, I always think you're gonna have a good time. But all the vegetables that I threw in here ended up making a sort of thick stew. And so the chicken is really moist, but then you have this stew that goes on top of it and it makes it even moister, more moist, more moist, more moist, more moist. That's lost all semblance of meaning more moist. Wow. I could eat this for days and not get bored of it. This chicken is seriously so good. It feels warm and tropical, but also really cozy at the same time. And this was the first time we had Belize on the channel, which is exciting. Another check mark to creating a dish from every country around the world.
Hi Beryl, hi everyone. My name is Gretta and I am a Lebanese American living in Minnesota in the United States. The dish I'm going to share with you today is called Djej, which basically translates from Arabic into rice with chicken. Djej is a common dish in the Levant and other areas in the Middle East, and it consists of boiling chicken in spices, and then you cook rice and spiced ground meat in that chicken broth you just made.
I gotta cut all these almonds like this. This is gonna take a while. This is why people buy slivered almonds.
And then you add that chicken back in at the end and top it all off with roasted nuts. Djej is a common dish across Lebanon and other countries in the Middle East, and different people will change it up to fit their taste. What makes it particularly Lebanese is the use of fragrant spices like cinnamon and a Middle Eastern 7-spice blend that we tend to use a lot to season a lot of our dishes. You can typically find those blends at a Middle Eastern grocery store or online, or you can try to make it yourself following some sort of recipe. The roasted nuts on top are my favorite part because it adds so much flavor and texture to the dish. It makes the dish feel really complete.
Wash it 3 times, she said. 2, 3.
Djej is a homey comfort dish that can be eaten any time of the year, but it's also made during celebrations and holidays like Christmas and Ramadan. And in my house, we like to use it as our Thanksgiving stuffing rather than the traditional American style of stuffing your turkey. A memory I have about Djej is that I actually didn't really like it growing up since I mostly wanted to eat vegetables. So my mom told me that astronauts would eat it mixed with tabbouleh salad on top because it would get all mixed up in space. And so that's how my sister and I ended up eating it and getting into it, because we wanted to eat it like the astronauts. I think people should try Djej to better understand the different flavors of Middle Eastern cuisine, since there's so many different varieties that the food in our region can come in. I also think it's a great way for people to find a fairly simple dish to make if you have a lot of chicken and you don't know what to do with it. It could be a good dish for making large portions for families or gatherings, or even just for meal prepping. So I hope you try it out sometime and enjoy.
I think this dish looks so beautiful. I'm not usually the biggest fan of nuts, but the nuts on top I think really tie it all together. All right, let's get some chicken in this. Whoa. Whoa. I've never had a dish like this before. The rice cooked in the stock from the chicken is delightful. With the beef in there, it is so rich. And the chicken with that is this amazing combination. The chicken is super juicy. I used chicken thighs that were bone in, which I definitely think was the way to go. I love the nuts. I don't usually say things like that, but I love the nuts in this. The cashews are so good and the almonds give a really nice crunch. This might be one of the better dishes that I've made in a long time. It is super special. Cooking with the cinnamon, both in the powdered form and the stick flavor, gives this that very typical Middle Eastern flavor. I think in general, cooking your meat with cinnamon is a very good thing to do and something that we don't do enough here in the West. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm leaving all the recipes in the description, and until next week, I'm leaving you with a chicken wing episode to give you a little bit more inspiration about chicken, and my rice toppings episode so you can see some other ways people eat rice around the world. I will see you all next week.